Welcome back to Property Playbook. We're your hosts, Elena Saradidis
and Reddy-Choquette.
And today we're talking all things what we've had it with in our industry.
Yes. I have had it with people not realizing or expecting that they are not going to be recorded at some point when looking at a property. I mean, in today's day and age, from the doorbell to, some piece of technology in the house, I just feel you have to always go on the premise that somebody is always listening.
I've had it with signs in the property that say, smile, you're on camera. It's creepy.
Yes.
It's creepy. No one wants to see that.
It's really creepy. Yeah.
And then you can't talk about the listing with your client in the property because they don't even want to talk about the property. They're just so concerned on where these hypothetical cameras are with the creepy smiley face that says, smile, you're on camera.
Yes. Now, at least they're saying, smile, you're on camera, because I think the one thing that we don't even realize, or we realize, I realize it because I've heard so many clients call me and say, I didn't like the fact that such and such picked apart my paint color in my kitchen. And I'm like, I'm sorry, how do you know that? And they're like, oh, well, we left our Alexa on listening. And I'm like, oh gosh, that's creepy. You should not be doing that.
And I think what people need to remember is someone had to have done something stupid at one point, and that's why homeowners have put cameras in their properties. This is it.
For sure. No, and I think, listen, at the end of the day, people, they also want to hear, they're curious to hear what people are saying. I mean, the number of times I'll have a seller that will be like, I am so offended that such and so thought such and so about my paint choice or my this. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you listening in the first place if you're going to get so upset?
So I think code to buyers, or what buyers should be doing if they're in the house, is take notes, but don't talk about the house until you've left the house.
Yes.
And the front porch counts as you've not left the house yet.
Yeah, meters away from the house.
They don't just put cameras there.
No.
There's a reason. They don't just put signs that say, do not use the toilet. Someone did something at one point and now it's a standard thing.
Speaking of, I've had it with someone broke a toilet at my last listing 2 weeks ago. The sellers literally called me and they're like, any idea why there's no water in the toilet in the primary ensuite and nothing about the toilet is working? And I was like, pardon? And they're like, honestly, we had to send a plumber because someone broke their toilet in the sale process, even though we said, please refrain from using the toilets.
Again, the fact that we have to say this.
Yes, but it causes me to feel like I'm a mother nagging my children on showings, which is I've had it with people opening up things that they aren't going to be buying. Example, the bedside drawers in someone's primary bedroom. You're not buying them with the house, so don't open them. They're not yours. It's true all the time.
Okay, let me tell you what I've had it with, because I think, did I tell you about this?
I don't know.
I don't think I did. Okay, last week I get a call from a very angry tenant. Why are they calling me? I haven't had it with the tenant. I've had it with agents that show up an hour and a half before their appointment time, open the door like they're Vanna White, and walk in.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yes.
I don't know what to say. You're giving all of us a bad name in the industry. This is absolutely not okay. You have a showing time. I'm the type of person that and my clients know this, even if I'm 5 minutes early, I will call the agent and say, hello, I have an appointment and I'm early. Can I go in?
Of course, it's somebody's house.
And knock. Even if it says vacant, just knock. What harm does it do? And it's extra 3 seconds of your life. Knock on the door, then enter.
100%. But this is also where I step back and I'm like, common courtesy, which is not a thing. So that we're just going to stick that out the window for the time being, but you are entering somebody else's house. And I should not have to say to a client, excuse me, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, when your property's on the market, please expect people to come 2 hours ahead of their scheduled time, 2 hours after their scheduled time.
Or not show up.
Not show up. Or how about this? On a different day, just because, they made a booking as a placeholder, but they weren't common courtesy, everybody. We need more of it.
Yeah, you would think. The other one that's fantastic. I've had it with agents that don't put their number on the listing.
Oh, this is an agent thing for sure. It's so annoying. Nobody's going to understand this, but effectively, when you have a listing, at the bottom of the listing, you can put your office and you can put your cell. And the number of agents that do not put their cell phone number means you have to call the office, you have to page, you heard me correctly, the agent, and wait for them to call you back. When we are in an industry that is person to person communication, Put your cell phone number.
Let me tell you a story time on that.
Oh dear.
So, you know how there's like these pop-up brokerages that are not real brokerages, but they are real brokerages? So
Yes.
like they're in the cloud?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry if you're an agent in the cloud and you're watching this, but like I have
Put your cell phone number on. Then you don't get this rant.
You are not a secret agent. You're a real estate agent. Your number should be on everything. If I can't find you or Google you, there's a problem. So I go show this property. It's not a cheap property. It's a $4 million home in the middle of like my neighborhood pocket, Trinity Bellwoods, Little Italy. So I go show this listing, and when we go to leave, the key gets stuck in the door. Like, there's no pulling it out. I tried, the client tried, we all tried. The door won't let me pull the key out.
Oh gosh.
So I look on the listing and I'm like, great, no cell phone number. I call their office. It says, hi, you've reached blah, blah, blah. We only answer the phone Monday to Friday with 48-hour notice if you leave a voicemail. And I'm sitting there sweating. I'm like, I can't leave this house unlocked. Like, this is insane. I can't leave the house unlocked. I can't get a hold of anyone. I left them a voicemail. I paged the agent through the booking system. I checked to find the agent's number on everything. I've never met someone so hidden in my life. I could not find this agent.
Maybe it was a secret agent.
It was a secret agent. Yeah. I found his Instagram. Started DMing him on Instagram. This is a true story. Like, I would love to say this is made up. Started DMing him on Instagram being like, listen, I need you to call me. The key is stuck in the in the door. I can't get it out. I need you to call me. I'm sitting here with my clients. It's been like we've been trying for almost 30 minutes at this point. Like, answer the phone. Get someone to help. So I'm like, okay, well, we're here for so long now. Like, there's really nothing I can do. I took a plastic bag and I covered the key. Not that we did anything. I just covered it. I'm like, I've tried calling multiple times. I crossed my T's. I dotted my I's. I've attempted everything humanly possible to call this man.
Yeah.
And I called him on Instagram multiple times. He was not answering. Finally, he calls me back and he goes, wow, you're persistent. I almost lost it.
Yeah.
I was like, my sassiness came out and I'm like, listen, I have never met a secret agent before, but I'm so honored. And he's like, what? And I'm like, your phone number's on nothing. The door is open. Like, I need help. Either, like, I was about to send a locksmith to your property and then invoice you for it.
Yeah.
Like, you need to put your number on.
SOS.
And he goes, oh, well, I didn't want to put my number on it because I didn't want agents to call me about questions that, aren't really relevant. And I'm like, this was an emergency. Your number wasn't on it. I understand not wanting, but this is your job.
I don't even understand that. You should have your cell phone number on so that you can get a call for any and every question that a buyer's agent might have. Period. That's your job, in my opinion, as a listing agent.
But that's why we get paid what we get paid. Let's call it as it is. So I've had it with agents that don't put their number on listings. And I would be very, very cautious if you were a seller and ask them that. Is your number on the listing?
Yeah.
Especially for sales, the number needs to be on the listing, especially in this market. I'm going to keep saying especially.
All the time. Every time.
Oh my God.
Cell phone numbers on listings.
You're not a secret agent.
Yes.
Don't hire the secret agent. with the cloud brokerage that doesn't answer the phone. Because if your house is left unlocked, you're screwed.
And Elena's rant. Oh gosh. What else have I had it with? I've had it with strange people being in listings. I mean, I had a real doozy of one though. So I went into a property. Everything's great. Nobody's there. We look at the main floor. We look at the second floor. Down to the basement we go. And there is, I don't know who to this day it was, whether it was a seller, a friend, a practical joke, but there was a person on all fours in a dog cage with a collar on. For real.
Did you let them out is my question.
No, I literally stood there, went and turned and looked back to talk to my buyers to be like, what are we all? And no one was there. I was ghosted. They ran back upstairs. So then I'm awkwardly standing in the basement with this situation, to which I was like, I just need to get out of this house.
Did you tell the listing agent?
Locked up, called the listing agent and said, I don't really know how to tell you this, but there was someone in a dog cage with a collar on in the basement. I don't know how you want to go about this. I don't know if other people have experienced this. I don't know if it was your seller. I don't know if it's a practical joke, but I'll just leave it with you.
That's actually wild.
Wild.
Did you at least ask if they're okay?
No. I was like, this is either going to be a horror movie and I'm going to be on the news because not good things have happened to me, or this is a practical joke and I'm going to find myself on some, I don't know what, show in
YouTube. You're going to be on YouTube. If we can find a YouTube video of an agent walking into a house and there's someone in the cage, like, please send us the link.
Me.
It was Erica.
Yeah. So that was a weird one.
Yeah, I would say that a key takeaway, if you are a seller, is to make sure everything is kind of tucked away.
Yes.
Like, don't leave things out. And as an agent, you would go in and tell them what to remove.
Yes.
So I one time went into a house, not as crazy as yours. Yours is insane. There's actually no topping that. We can actually end the episode right here with Man in the Dog Cage. That's the title.
On all fours. Call it a day.
But I had a property one day where I opened up the door and I'm like, I have a bad feeling. And this sounds so bad, but have you ever felt that way? Like you open it and you're just like, something's not right here. And I said that, and the wife turns to me and goes, okay, then we're not going in. And the husband goes, what are you two talking about? Let's go into the house. I'm like, okay, but I'm not going downstairs, is what I said. We walk into the property, we're looking around, nothing's really that scary, but like, I don't want to open up the closets to see how much room it is. That's how much of a vibe this house gave me. And I'm not a superstitious person. It was really creepy in there. We finally make it to the basement. And I'm like, you're going first, it's not me. So we send the husband first. The husband goes down the stairs and he's like, what is this? There were about, I want to say hundreds of thousands of doll heads.
Oh, gosh.
All placed on the walls.
Oh, gosh.
And a bunch of baseball bats all along the side.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Weird.
And I literally turned around and I was like, I told you. I gotta go. Yeah. Like, I'm up the stairs. And the husband was like, what? Like, why did you have this feeling? And I was like, it just felt creepy in there the moment I walked in. I was like, I gotta get out.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to sell, that house was a prime property. It was a detached listing. It actually didn't really need any work, but the basement
was creepy.
Yeah. And the house itself, like, it could have used a refresh. And if it refreshed, it would have been the first one sold in the area.
Yeah.
Because it was the best house out of everything that we showed, but it was a really, really bad first impression. And you can't change that after that.
No, you cannot. First impressions are everything. And I mean, speaking of first impressions, I've had it with people forgetting when showings are booked. And listen, I get it. People go out at night, they have a good time at the bar, they maybe pick somebody up. But when we're walking in on that, and that is the first impression, maybe don't do early morning bookings. Yeah. If you're a seller, because what we walked in on clearly is not anything anybody wanted to witness.
Is this bad to say too? Like, I don't want to say pick up your clothes.
Pick up your undergarments. I don't want to sound like a grandma calling it an undergarment, but like
just your underwear. I walked into a house and like, you know how like, this sound like, again, it's bad when I say this, but
I mean,
you wake up in the morning.
Sex. I mean, we can talk about picking up your,
The funny thing is we all have. Is that bad? Like, you're knocking on the door and you're like, one moment. I'm like, okay, we're not coming in.
No,
like, we're actually gone. Like, we're leaving. But I've had showings where, like, I've walked through the house, and people do this all the time. You go into the shower, you take off your clothes, and like, it's a hard step to put your stuff back in the hamper. Like, I'm a victim. Like, I don't want to say a victim of it. I do it sometimes at my house. Everyone does it. Like, let's not play like it's so uncommon. You take off your clothes, you get in the shower. Sometimes you're in a rush and you forget things. But when you forget things before a showing,
no one wants to.
And someone sees your underwear
no
floor, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
So, my recommendation: get someone to clean the property before you have showings.
Yeah.
Like, beginning and end of each day. Like, I would just have someone come in and spruce it up.
Yeah. Or just pick up your things and put them in your laundry hamper.
Mistakes happen.
I mean, listen, mistakes happen, but yes, we're all creatures of habit. But yes, we have to remember that there are people looking at your home.
The funny thing is, this actually happened with one of my clients before.
Leaving?
They did. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. He's chill, but he left it on the floor. It was by accident. And I literally sent him a photo. I like pushed it under the cabinet. But I sent him a photo and I was like,
boxers.
Yeah.
Hamper.
And I was like, LOL. Just like, heads up, maybe put it away next time. And he goes, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Don't tell my mom.
It happens. happens.
Like Eastern European moms, they're gonna be like, "How dare you leave that on the floor?"
Yeah,
it happens, but he wasn't intentional, and I don't think anyone's like that version is intentional.
No,
like no one's intending to have sex before the showing.
No,
or during it.
And listen, if you had a good time the night before, I'm not cracking down on you, but like maybe we shouldn't be having 9 a.m. showings and forgetting. Just saying.
Start the showings later. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, avoid the awkward moments.
Oh my God. What else have we had it with?
Oh gosh. I gotta think. I mean, those are some doozies. I mean, this one's, again, just on the picking up. I'm not saying it and I've had it with in a negative way, but on picking up, I would also say common sense, I appreciate sometimes isn't so common. So it's also recognizing like passports, car keys, cash, these kinds of things should not be sitting out in like visible, grabbable places. Again, agents are incredibly we're bound and trustworthy and all of that. Like, there should never be theft in a showing. I'm definitely saying that because I don't want anyone to get painted with a bad rap. But I did have a situation where I was doing an open house, and I'll never forget this because it was such a bizarre, but again, not a had it with situation, but bizarre situation where everybody signed in came a set of buyers, in came another set of buyers. Everybody goes upstairs, comes back downstairs, and one set of buyers is literally handcuffed. And I'm like, what is happening? 2 sets of buyers just walked into the property. The cops said, pop down to the division after the open house and we'll bring you up to speed on what's happening. So it was undercover cops following a crime ring. And effectively what they were doing was they were targeting higher end homes where they knew they'd find, a Rolex or a wad of cash or diamond studs. And they were literally going into open houses, not even showings with agents, and taking things in plain sight because people just don't think to take these things out of their houses. And the cops obviously had gotten on them and arrested them in my open house in plain daylight as they were taking something from the client. So that one's really stuck with me because I think at the end of the day, you just don't think about these kinds of things when you go to put your house on the market, but you really have to think of everything.
So what I would say, so people don't get scared out of open houses after that one, because
and again, this has only ever happened to me once in 16 years, and nothing went sideways in the end. And these were these were criminals.
Yeah. So the best thing that I would say when it comes to listings of a certain caliber, or if they're owner occupied, I usually place 2 agents on site.
100%.
And I do that because I want someone upstairs, on the other level, with the client, with the potential person that just walked in off the street, because you don't know who they are. Yeah. So we've done it a few times, and depending on how big the listing is, there's more than 2. So sometimes there could be 3 or 4 agents there, and it's because of that. It's a safety concern. We need to make sure who's coming in, when are they walking out. This is why we have a sign-in sheet. I know the consumer has had it with the agent's sign-in sheet.
Yeah, you want to talk about flipping it? My gosh.
No one wants to sign the sign-in sheet.
No.
And let me tell you, we don't want to contact you and harass you. We just need to know who's coming into the property, because if something goes sideways, we need to know who came in.
Yeah, exactly. It's just safety and security measures. And again, this is where I kind of go, this is twofold. One, yes, as agents, running open houses, it's our duty to protect the house and protect the client and the belongings. And again, I don't say this because I want people freaking out and never doing open houses again, because frankly, they do sell homes 100%. But I agree with you, you got to be careful, but you also have to be smart, and you also have to exercise the common sense of, don't have things in plain sight, have, things in safes, or have things locked up, or have things that are extremely valuable out of the house with you when, those kinds of things are happening.
Yeah, there's a reason why we don't stage with luxury. Let's call it that. We're not putting Van Gogh on the wall. We're not staging with luxury things because it's not the time and the place. You can put beautiful artwork. You can hide everything that belongs to you. Just make it as easy as possible to do showings and to do open houses. Yeah. That's what we're trying to say.
Exactly.
And if agents are asking you to sign in, just sign in.
Yeah.
That.
We can have our I've had it with, and you can have our I've had it with, but we're all just trying to come under one umbrella.
Just sign in, because if we need something, let's say for example you forgot a belonging in the house, it could go both ways.
100%.
You left your umbrella, and now I'm I can't contact you. You left your umbrella. Do you want it back, or is it my umbrella now?
Yeah.
It's a way to be able to limit exposure and limit liability if something does go wrong. So we won't reach out to you if you just say don't reach out to us.
Yeah.
And I think that's all. That's what we've had it with.
That's what I've got.
That's what we've had it with this week. Has anything else happened this week that you've like, oh my God, I have another.
Oh, okay.
I've had it with mortgage brokers that don't ask for documents and pre-approve someone.
Oh, that's not okay.
It happened recently. So remember the deal? I was representing the seller.
Yeah.
They came through, had a finance condition. And I call the agent always, who are they doing the mortgage with? Have they been pre-approved? Like, are we solid? We're solid. The mortgage broker never collected the documents.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So they approved them. They pre-approved them. They told them, no problem, put in an offer, finance condition. And then during the 5-day conditional period, they were collecting the documents. The agent didn't know that this was happening.
Oh, my gosh.
The agent didn't know. They thought they were approved because the client said, I'm approved. The mortgage broker told them, I'm approved, like they're approved. They put in the offer and then they back out. Do not. I've had it with mortgage brokers that don't collect all the documents and give the approval properly before they put in an offer.
Yeah, because if you're approved, you're approved. Like, period. A pre-approval is a pre-approval.
And like, we go through the extent that if we're showing a property to a client, they've been pre-approved, but they've been pre-approved.
Yes.
So when I show them a property, we're in communication with the mortgage broker throughout the whole entire process. We're like, this is the listing. We're going to put in an offer. This is what I think we can get it for. Run their numbers again.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to put in the finance condition because you've asked for it, but you have all their documents. Yes. Okay. And we go through step by step what is needed when we're working with mortgage brokers. But if a mortgage broker is blatantly telling you, we're good, wouldn't you believe you're good?
Of course you would.
The buyer believed they were good. The sales representative representing the buyer believed they were good until they realized they weren't good.
Yeah, no, that's not okay.
So 100%, if you're dealing with a mortgage broker and they've given you a pre-approval and you have not submitted documents to them,
it's not a pre-approval.
It's not a pre-approval. You're going to run into a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all I've had it with today.
Me too. Thankfully, not too many things. I don't know.
Once again, it's Property Playbook. If you like content like this, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. We're off to sell more houses.